Hi, and welcome back to Society of Like-Minded Men. I'm Ramin Kayvan, your host, and this is Tommy Sporletter, your other host. Hey, man, what's going on?
Man, it's like I said, if I told you, you probably wouldn't believe it.
Probably not.
Actually, it's a Dave Ramsey euphemism, better than I deserve. And honestly, for the most part, really is, the crazies of life and world and all that stuff. I'm doing pretty damn good on a daily basis.
Yeah, no, I have to say in general, do I have challenges? Sure, no problem. But do I have real issues and problems? No, I've got no real complaints. I'm blessed in many, many ways. Yeah.
You don't have to look very far to find out that you are if you think you're not.
Correct. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
So
topic for today
is procrastination, one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it now. I want to do it later.
Do it now. Yeah. Yeah. Good topic. We talk about that really as we get into these podcasts and what's a subject to touch on. Part of that is me and you. We talked about this a little bit last week, was making a commitment.
Yes.
And just starting it and doing it, which we've done, and hard to believe now this is going to be our 5th episode. I mean, that's 5 weeks, not including an intro. And it doesn't seem that long, but in that we've found both of us a little bit, procrastination of, well, okay, I'll think about it later. I'll come up with the topic later. And just earlier today, I've been meaning to reach out to some of my social networks and my people with this. It's 5 weeks in and I haven't done it. And I took a ruck yesterday and I'm like, I'll just do a quick intro video. People that know me know what I do. They know what I've been a part of the last 5 years. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this done.
Exactly.
I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
I'm going to post this. I'm going to post it with all the stream links. And sure enough, here I am 28 hours later and it's not done.
Still not done.
And if I don't get it done, it's not going to happen. Procrastination. And really, there's no reason. I talked about you a little bit before. Some of it is I want it to be right, or I want it to be perfect. I want it to be this. And
yes,
that's the enemy. That's the enemy.
The desire for some level of perfection is the enemy of just getting it bloody well done.
Right.
And there is something to be said for, that many people say good enough is the enemy of really well done. But at some level, you have to say, okay, where's the line drawn? At what point do we say, it's good enough? Let's just get it out there so people have an opportunity to interact with it. And I think that's the thing that with people like us who are in content creation, we have at some level a responsibility to our viewers to provide them with usable and useful content, even if it's not perfect. Right? Just so they have an opportunity to interact with it, form their own opinions about certain things, and maybe engender discussions with their family members and the people they care about a particular subject matter that otherwise would not have happened if we had been too busy going, well, I don't know, the lighting's not quite good on that one. And, the sound's not great.
Right. Yeah. No, it's, that's it. And in procrastination, there's different varying degrees and varying levels.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think some of it comes with experience and knowledge and age. And you talk about this a lot. I like to go back and spend some time reviewing even our own content, trying to see where I can improve. But you've touched on it quite a bit, is that I don't care.
Yeah.
If people watch they'll see what you mean by that you don't care to the level that it affects you being an effective man and an effective person. Right. And you don't care enough that it keeps you from procrastinating.
Correct.
Right?
And I think that's the thing, is we have determined in our society that if someone cares a lot, that they're somehow better than those around them. And the reality is that good people can't get work done if they're too mired in what the guy next door thinks about him, or, that you can't care about that kind of stuff. This is what we mean when we say you don't care. It's not that you don't care in the classic negative sense. It's that you are not burdened by the opinions of others in an attempt to get something out into the world. It doesn't matter really what it is. If it's, a podcast video, or if it's a piece of music, if you're a singer songwriter, if it's a piece of art, in the world of people finding other jobs to do, we have a gentleman who shows up, once every couple of weeks, and his whole world is collecting dog poop. And yeah, it's funny, but he and I have long conversations, and he's an artist. He's a phenomenal artist. I've seen some of his work, and he has that same thing of, well, I do okay, I'm all right, I've had a couple things sold, but then he'll immediately embark on this long litany of what was wrong with the last thing that he sold.
Yeah.
And I think that is the killer of creativity. That is the killer of forward progress.
Yeah.
You cannot be your own worst enemy. Well, you can. We recommend that that's a bad idea.
Well, yeah, yeah. Not
Just
really
saying.
not one of the values of our society of
No, you cannot
like-minded
be.
men.
It would be preferable if you were not your own worst enemy. There are lots of people who will step up out of the blue to tell you why what you're doing is wrong, or what you're doing could be done better, or everybody's got an opinion. And if that is what drives you, you will forever be in the shadow of everybody else. And we recommend from here that you stand up and say, you know what? My stuff, it's good enough when I say it's good enough.
That's right. It's kind of oxymoronic when
Yeah, it
we
is.
say you got to get to the point where you don't care. It's I don't care in a positive context,
Correct.
not a negative context. And those three words can have that positive connotation, meaning I don't care on certain things, and taking it to procrastination. I don't care what people are gonna. I don't care if it's imperfect. I don't care if I fail at this. I don't care. And in that sense, it's positive, and it moves you forward, and it
Yes.
moves others forward, and it keeps them from being, we've talked about this, being reliant on you for everything, being an enabler to other people. It's not that I don't care, but I don't care. You know what I mean? It's
Right. It's not really relevant. And
right.
it's you when you get to the point where you don't care, you are actively saying to the world, I'm not here to be your servant. I'm not here to be the dumping ground for your negative connotations and descriptions of whatever it is we're talking about. Right. I am here to move my life forward and to achieve my hopes and dreams. And if you want to come along, and my dad always used to say, if you want to come along for the ride, welcome aboard. If not, no hard feelings.
Right.
you know, at some point you gotta be the one who drives your own bus. You can't
Correct.
you can't let people, as they used to say, try and drive the bus from the back seat. Whether you're running a company or you're running a family, you can't have the 4-year-old driving the bus from the back seat. That ain't happening, right?
Right.
But at some level, you need to decide that you are okay enough to be the one who says we're moving forward.
Yep.
Right? And do so with a level of confidence and knowing that you will achieve what you want. It may not be perfect, but as long as you're making small incremental steps towards something, you don't start a painting. If you want to learn how to be a photographer, let's use that as an example. You want to learn how to be a photographer. Your first photograph is going to suck,
Mm-hmm.
right? But from that, you learn on how to improve it. And over time, as you continue to take photos, you will find that you will become an excellent photographer, and that you will develop what is known as a good eye. And
Right.
people will go, man, your photos are awesome. Yes, because I started and I sucked, but I didn't let people tell me I sucked and then use that energy as a means of stopping what I was trying to accomplish.
And then I didn't procrastinate and
Yes.
procrastinate.
Because procrastination is a function of
Wait.
well, it's wait. There's a couple things. One is the whole notion of I don't want to be judged, and the other part of that is if I complete this task, this is I've had conversations with people who have ADHD. People who have ADHD are very good at starting things, but not very good at finishing them, because the starting is very exciting. You get dopamine and all that kind of stuff, but then you get into the trenches. You've got to actually do the hard work to get to the finish line, right? And that is the hard part. And people who are not able to focus and care enough about themselves, really, I don't even care about the project necessarily. It doesn't matter what you're doing. But if you don't care enough about yourself to say, I'm going to finish this,
Right.
right? You will become a procrastinator. That's what it does.
Yeah. In this last 5 years of my existence, the last
Yeah.
10 years of my life, since we've really known each other,
Yes, exactly.
that's things that we learned, and we were taught that was an enemy of mine for for so long. And now I still catch myself doing it.
Sure.
We always
Of
will,
course.
but it's less of what it is. And I found in the last 5 years, and specifically the last 2 or 3, I'm more effective and I'm getting a lot more things
Sure.
accomplished because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not procrastinating. I'm not overthinking. I'm just starting it and I'm doing it and I'm setting some targets. I'm setting goals, and we'll talk about this in the future. There's things about dark goals or BHAGs, different big, hairy A goal, different things. And there's different people, different podcasts, different studies, and there's an art to all of that. But it really comes down to simplicity. And
Mhm.
the simplicity of it is if you set that target,
Mm.
but if you procrastinate, well, first of all, you can procrastinate even setting a
The
goal or a
target.
target.
Yeah.
There'd be times, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write out my goals and goal set, whatever. And then you don't do it. And
Yeah.
then time goes by. And it was going to be January 1st. Now it's February, like it didn't. So it just compounds on itself.
Yes, it does.
Once, and we talk about this all the time, once you become more self-aware
That's the
and
key.
more self-reliant, then that's when you start
That's the
recognizing
key.
the things going on in your life and around you. And then we'll go back to, I don't care. Then when you don't care what people think, what people say, what your own damn mind sometimes tells you, we
That's
call
the
it the
biggie.
LBV, the little B voice, and you do it and you don't procrastinate and you start doing things, then you start getting things done. And
Yeah.
then your life starts to change. And those things you wanted to do 5 years ago, 10
Yeah.
years ago,
One of the things
5 days ago, a month ago, holy crap, they're getting
yeah,
done
they're
because I'm
getting
not
done.
wasting time
Well,
and
it's
wasting energy on the crap
on
and
the
the
crap in your back.
procrastination.
Well, we all have self-talk, right? At the end of the day,
Mhm.
we all have self-talk. The question is it in control of you or are you in control of it?
Right.
Those are the only two possibilities. If it is in control of you, you will forever not do the things you want to do.
Right.
There will always be a reason. You will always talk yourself out of it. You don't even need other people to come mess with you, even though they will. It's what they do.
Right.
But there's no reason for you to enable that, right? You need to ask yourself, is what I'm thinking right now valid in the context of what I'm trying to accomplish?
Yep.
Will it help me achieve my goals, right? And as we were talking off camera earlier, if I don't do this, will I regret it later? The
Right.
answer to that's yes. Let me just answer that question for you right now. The
Yeah.
answer is yes. You will have regret later. The question is, do you want that?
Right.
For me, that's a motivator. Just the fact that I might regret not doing it, I'm going to do it. Right. And the other thing that feels good is the notion of getting something done. And I think we all the reason we procrastinate is we see a project and it is a large thing. And we're like, well, I can't eat the whole elephant, so I'll just not do anything. It's like, well, you need to start in little incremental steps and put things in the rearview mirror. The faster you do that, the faster the elephant will disappear.
Amen.
But it has to matter. You have to matter. This is the thing that I think and especially for men, we are told that we are here to be of service to others and we are here to take care of others and defend others, blah, 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 blah. And it's a lovely notion. It really is. And perhaps we'll write a children's book about it. But at the end of the day, if you are not actively taking care of yourself as a man and taking care, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, you can't be
You will be of
effective
no value to
to
anyone.
anybody else. It's funny you
You
touched on
can't
that.
do that.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. You're carrying so much and you get going and all of a sudden it's like that. So many thoughts start rolling
Yes, of
through your
course.
head. And then there's a key to all that. There's a key to that and the things you learn. And we talked about journaling and things. And when the ideas come and the thoughts come, sometimes you got to write them down, or the little gadget we use that we say, stop using it for ineffective things, use it for effective things. Record that idea, go back to it, and then do something with it. Don't procrastinate with it, and
It
don't.
is what we tell people. Singer-songwriters hear this a lot is you're going to have ideas and sometimes they're going to come at you at 2 a.m.
Right?
Right. So you have choice. You can either pretend you're going to remember that at 6 a.m. Newsflash. You're never going to remember that at 6
Yeah,
a.m.
some of the most effective people that I know and I've met in my life, and successful people, there's one trick that they have, and they keep, and not the phone, because we think the phone, in some ways, the phone is your worst enemy, but it's real easy to keep a notebook and a piece of paper by your bed. And
Yep.
I've talked to a lot of people, and I've been in groups where they wake up at 3 a.m, and whether it's a dream or maybe it's a nightmare, it's a thought, you wake up
It's okay.
and you write it down, because there's so many times that I've done that and I've thought, man, I just thought, and I didn't. And that's why right now I'm really trying to, again, started a habit of journaling, and I don't really procrastinate with that, get that idea down, and I keep it, and it goes with me everywhere I go, because when that idea hits,
You
write
got to
it
do it.
down,
You got
do
to
it.
write it
And
down.
what we started here, and again,
Yeah.
we talked about this earlier, 5 weeks in, I wanted to do something like this. I wanted to start something, and that was procrastination itself. And I know you were doing some of this with some other gentleman a while
Yeah.
ago, and I'm like, oh
Yes, I
man, I'd
was.
like to do that, and I'd start that, and then you always find this reason or this excuse,
Well,
and
it's
we know what excuses
I'm
are.
busy. I have to go grocery shopping. I have to feed the
Yeah.
kids. There's always a reason not to do this, but there's also just as many valid reasons to do it.
Yep. And I have
Right?
no regrets at all
Not at
for
all.
doing it.
No.
The only time I regret, even a workout, I never regret the workout that I did. Even if it sucked, even if it was hard, if I didn't want to do it. But I can tell you there's a lot of times that I regret not doing it.
Correct.
And that's what you
And
talked
that was
about
for me.
before. Do you
Yes.
regret not
Not doing it.
doing the
Yeah,
thing?
correct.
That's the key.
I keep it for, like I was mentioning about singer-songwriters earlier. I keep my phone by my bed. I don't tend to look at it, but if I get hit with an idea or a melody or a song title comes to me in the middle of the night, I will get up and record that on the voice recorder, because I know at 6 a.m. it will be gone. Creativity is ephemeral. It disappears as fast as
Heck
it
yeah.
shows up. So if
Heck
you're
yeah,
not,
Ramin.
and I have, at this point, my voice recorder has got hundreds of song ideas and song titles, and even just, I've got little jazz riffs that I literally at 2 a.m, so as to not to wake my wife, I go grab the phone and run into the bathroom, and I'm sitting on the toilet.
Man, dude,
humming.
I know there's a lot of humility in what you do in that, but I'm going to toot your horn a little bit since I've known you in this journey. I mean, you've recorded some albums.
Yeah.
You've got a recording studio. We've got a really good friend that you knew before I did. That was a part of me. The gentleman's name is Garrick Davis.
Yep. We'll put the link. We'll put the link to his website down below.
We will on here. And our plan, we've talked about this, and now it's time to stop procrastinating. We need to get him. We need to bring him in here.
We'll bring him in as a guest.
He's got a hell of a story to tell.
He does.
But
he was one of our brothers in a previous thing you and I were doing. Yes. He was my guitar teacher for 10 years.
Well, that's it. And back on you to toot your horn, and I'm going to do it. And why I was comfortable, and I wanted to do this with you, because you come with owning your own business and doing that, and the experiences that we rely on is what I've seen you do in just the last 5 years that we've known each other.
Yeah.
And it's okay. This is the other thing I've learned, that it used to be hard for me to take a compliment and to accept people's help.
I'm with you there. It's hard.
It's hard. And at this point it's like, but you can, and it's okay. And what I found with of that, I'm off track a little bit here, but
no, you're not. It's not. It is necessary that you be able to take a compliment.
It is, because what I've found is, and I found this out, that when someone's wanting to offer you a compliment or wanting to help you, and you say no, it's almost a disservice to them and an insult to them. And I found that, because I know how I feel. Yourself. Oh, you're too good for me or too important for me, kind of thing. But yeah, and we'll get into that in our podcast. Stay specific to topics, but at some point I'd love
we will expand on that.
We'll do a thing and share your story and the things that you're doing. Cause I think it's amazing. And I know you were dabbling in it before, but I'm just seeing so much stuff going on in your life at the age that we are. And we see people half our age that they're dragging and they don't do that. And maybe
they're lost, and they've been somehow convinced.
I'm a squirrel, and I'm here and I'm there and I'm everywhere. But I know, and that's the key to bring it back circle to procrastination, is being that type of personality that you're go-getter. And when I sleep hard. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem sleeping. I can sleep through the night, through tornadoes and all that stuff. Wait, what happened? But what is the enemy now to me, and why procrastination is important? Because with all these ideas and all this stuff going on, if I don't pinpoint them, and if I don't identify, okay, this is what you need to do, and if I don't do it, and I procrastinate and I think too much about it, I don't start it, and it never gets done. And then it comes back to the question you said. That's what I regret. I regret that I didn't do it, and I don't want to be sitting here hell, at this point, I don't want to be sitting here a week from now, let alone a
Right.
month or a year, 5 years from now, saying, if I would have just did that,
Right.
you
And
know,
again, that's not to say that everything you decide to do is necessarily going to be, a life-changing event,
no,
but it adds to you. Whatever
right.
happens, it adds to you, right? Again, it's like, if you want to learn how to be a photographer, you take some crappy photographs. That
Right.
adds to you as a human being. You learn what crappy looks like and you strive for better. But to go back to your earlier point of taking compliments, we have convinced men in our society that they should live small. Does that make sense? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
it
That
does. I know
you
what
know what
you're
I'm saying?
saying.
And
Yes.
so some men will live small their entire lives,
Ugh.
and we never see their potential.
Yep.
And this was the thing that came to me when I was in studio recording an album. I was 61 at the time recording my first album, and I thought to myself, how many more guys like me are there out there
Oh, man,
whose music we will never hear,
you'll never get
right?
enjoy.
And it's
Yeah.
not even just music. It's, there's 100,000 authors a day that we could probably identify whose work is in a desk drawer somewhere. And we'll
Creators create whatever the
and yeah, and we'll
creativity, how much creativity in
just
so
vanishes
many
every year.
people's souls and
Yes.
never come because they like the word you said, because they become soft. They become
They've been told they're not good enough for that. They've been
yeah, yeah.
told there are things more important in the world than their own fulfillment as a human being.
And at the end of the day, there's really not.
There
There's really not. Because at the end of the day, I was having dinner earlier with, some family members, and conversations come, and it always circles back. And when I'm having
always.
conversation with people, and people always say that family members, friends, people I work with, that when it's all said and done, whenever that is, hopefully you're not going to have a whole hell of a lot of regrets. And I
That's
know
it.
there's a lot of people that do. And that's what saddens me, and why I wanted to do this, and like-minded men. Cause I know there's so many men out there that are in the
Yeah,
spot that I was in not too long ago, and the journey that I've been
absolutely.
on, and the stories I've done. And I'm really making it a point. I'm hoping I got another good 40, 50 years on me. Hell, who knows? But I'm
Take care
like,
of
I
yourself, you
want to,
do.
I don't have enough time now to get it all in, and I guarantee you I'm not gonna get it in if I procrastinate.
At all.
It's not it's
Yeah,
that's it, because 'cause you're not gonna
you are
start it, and we
uh-uh,
talked about this last week, and if you don't start it,
you're
it's
done.
never gonna happen, and
You're
you're never
done.
gonna create that habit, and
Correct.
you're never
And
gonna create, all this stuff we talk about. It all intertwines to itself, and it all builds on itself,
right.
you
And
know?
but at the end of the day, it is the in yes, we are a society of like-minded men, but the individual need for fulfillment is an individual
Yeah.
responsibility, right? You're not gonna get that from us. We can be your cheerleaders. We don't look good in a short skirt with pom-poms, I guarantee you.
Well, we
But
can be your cheerleaders, and
we can be yes.
also hold you accountable, because that's what we
Yes.
do in the groups that we've been in, and we'll do in this group if you decide to come along for the journey and you look for, advice. But that's what I love about you and other guys that we associate with in our circle of influence, is they're the first ones to
Yeah.
lift me up and kudo me, but they're also the ones to say, Tommy, no, look at it this way. And again, I call it constructive criticism. Give me criticism. But come, we talked about this. If there's a problem, there's an issue. If you got one or two ideas you can throw at me and let me stew on those
Come
and
on.
figure it out. But
Let me chew on it.
I don't go a lot to the outside before, like, the
Right.
last 5 years, because it says this. You could go to quote your family or your best friends or your buddies
Yeah.
from high school you associate with. And most of the time when you talk to those people, they're going to tell you what you want to hear, not what you
No,
need to hear.
well, they're gonna tell you what you want to hear, or they will shoot you down because they can't see themselves
Yeah.
doing what you're talking about. So therefore, it must be impossible for you,
That's the other thing. They'll be the first ones to defeat you and say, "Oh, you're
right?
crazy.
So
What the hell are you
this,
doing this and that?" And then that comes back to the don't care.
yeah, well, there's don't care, and then the thing that you have to learn to be as a man as you mature is be very choosy about who you bring yourself to.
Yeah.
Right? You should only surround yourself with people who will support you and cheer you on and help you perhaps achieve what you want to achieve. if the people you're talking to have never done anything like what you're talking about, they cannot envision it. It is not physically possible in their world.
Yeah.
Therefore, their ability to cheer you on is not there. It's not even reduced. It's not there. They can't.
And
My mother was like that. There are a lot of us have parents like that.
yeah.
And it's because they came through the depression or whatever. And it's, the whole notion of when you tell them you want to do X, Y, and Z, their first response is, who do you think you are?
Yep.
Right?
And don't procrastinate because you're looking for validation. You don't need anybody's validation.
You don't
You
need
don't need it.
validation.
You need your own. You need your own. And is this good for me? Is this healthy for me? Is this going to help me? And in turn, how will it help those
Others.
that I care about, those that
Yes.
are in my circle? And again, I'm a pretty social person and I enjoy a part and I can stay up sometimes to wee hours of the night having a good time and enjoy. I love people. I love company, but I have come to find out that I don't. I not to, but there's certain people that I just
You
don't have
can't.
tolerance
The
for anymore. I don't have time for, and I don't go out of my way to be rude. But I don't really waste a lot of my time and
I
energy
think
or effort on those people
I
any
think
longer.
the key is that we all somehow think that our energy is limitless, therefore we can surround ourselves with whoever we want. The
Yeah.
fact is your energy is not limitless. There is a finite amount of energy on any given day that you have to accomplish the things you want to accomplish. And to be around people who want to either not contribute to that energy or take energy away from you is not a good idea. So it's not like Tommy says, it's not about being rude. It's just about being choosy about who you
Yep.
surround yourself with. Right.
Yep.
And there's a kind of an old saying that says, tell me who you hang out with and I'll tell you what your future looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's said many different ways, and I've seen it on writings on walls and this and that. But there is a whole lot of truth in
Yes. So at the end of the day, you are the engine of your own creativity. You are the engine of your own success if you're willing to be, right? But in the
it.
end, it has to be you. It had to be you.
It
Yeah,
had
but
to
it
be
has to be you.
you.
There can be no other, right? When I decided to go on my guitar journey and learn how to play guitar, used to play in high school. And then, probably she's 10, 12 years ago now, I said to my wife, I really would love to learn how to play guitar again. But this time I want a teacher. So we were near a guitar store. She said, well, you make a U-turn. Let's go buy you a guitar. So we bought a guitar. And this is what I'm saying about you need to take that first step because the universe will rise up to meet you. When you decide, come hell or high water, this is where I'm going, the
Yep.
universe will rise up to meet you. The guy behind the counter said, so, we have lessons here, but you know what? Here, he reached under the counter and he handed me a postcard. And on the face of that postcard was a gentleman by the name of Garrick Davis, whom we mentioned earlier. And I called him and he called me back in 10 minutes. And that phone call was the beginning of a dozen-year relationship and friendship.
So cool.
And mentorship, and he was the producer on my album. There is just, you don't know what you will accomplish if you don't take that first step.
Yep. And
The
you did
minute,
it, and you
and
didn't
I
procrastinate.
just, if I had procrastinated that day,
Mhm.
right? If I had procrastinated, think about this. If that day I had said, nah, never mind,
Here's a real
I
cool,
never would have met him.
crazy here's a real cool, crazy story. So, getting ready to finish little girl's bedroom, been bed shopping, marketplace, this and that. And again, procrastination,
Right.
we're gonna do this. So that's one of my goals, and it's gonna be done by March. So I started it. But
Mm,
I'm looking and I find this she wants a bunk bed so she can have friends come over and sleep. I'm like, okay, baby. And
sure.
we
Yeah.
look through and I'm gonna buy from Amazon this and that. And it was like, go on marketplace and there's a bed and you can tell it's nice solid wood, this and that. And I looked at it a couple times and all of a sudden the price was, okay, we just need it gone, $60. I'm like, it's 20-minute drive. I said,
Done.
there's a little bit of damage. I go, send me a picture of the damage, send it. And I was like, well, maybe not. And I'm going to have to, and I didn't, I like, I'll take it. $60. If it sucks, I'll go look at it. I can go with the cash. If it sucks, I won't take it. I went there. Funny story. We picked it up. We picked it up Saturday. I came here. It's sitting in my garage. I go to dinner with my brother. He walks in the garage. I kid you not. This bunk bed was owned by him and his
Yeah.
girls, who are now in college, mind
No
you.
kidding.
I am not kidding because he found
Wow.
there's marks on it. So I had to take the pictures I'm sending. So his girls were just here for spring break. they go to college, out of state, and I got to send it to him. And he about like passed out, and he went home and he was going to tell his wife, and she's a teacher. And I'm still dumbfounded by that. And I was like, well, dude, they sold these beds, but he goes, no, dude, he's like, cause the girls are one to be 21 and the other. And so like 15 years ago, but it's solid wood. And he's like, no, this mark right here, look at this. He goes, that, and the circle is here in Colorado where I'm at. So it was handed and it's still there. And
I told
that
you,
bed is
when you
going to
decide,
end up in I'm like, this is, and that's how you talk about the universe. And it's just a really cool story. But if I would have procrastinated, and what you talked about, Garrick Davis procrastinated and not pull the trigger on the guitar and where you're at now. And when Scarlett outgrows these twin beds and all that, it's such a cool, just like, it just how that happened, of all the things and all the people and all the places and all the beds. He was almost in tears, just like, I was like,
sure.
So cool.
And the beauty of stuff like that is that as you go through life, you collect these beautiful stories.
Yep.
Right. And then you can pass these stories on to the next generation.
Yeah.
Right. About what it means to decide on a day to do a thing, take the first step, and the universe rises up to meet you. Right. And, sometimes they're silly, like I used to have many, many years ago in the early days of owning my company. I had like an hour drive through the mountains to get to my office in Redwood City here in California. And I left the house and I'm like, oh God, I'm starving and I want a cup of coffee. I would love like a breakfast burrito and a cup of coffee. And I forgot about it as I left the house. Drove an hour through the mountains, got to my office and got set up and sat down at my desk. And my office manager walks in and goes, hey, boss, you got a minute? And I'm like, sure. What you got? She goes, I was just at Jack in the Box and they handed me an extra burrito and an extra cup of coffee. I'm like, really?
Manifestation, man.
Man, I tell you.
There's something about that word too. And things
it's just
that,
don't procrastinate. Don't.
No.
I mean, the question that I always ask people is, what are the very cool things that you could bring to the table that other people can't, right? Yeah. And why would you deny the world that, right? This is the thing. It's like everybody has been raised weirdly to keep their light under a bushel, as the old saying goes. Why? Yeah. Who benefits from that? Who benefits from us not having amazing singer-songwriters, authors, airplane pilots, motorcycle racers, whatever, and car engineers, home engineers, whatever? Who benefits? Certainly not the rest of society. So if you've got a talent, damn it, get up off your ass and go do something with
it. Do something with it. If you have a thought, if you have an idea, if you think it's cool, if it's just something you want to do, if it's something that you think might be or not, or if it just brings you joy. and pleasure,
that's it. That's all that matters.
Don't procrastinate. Don't. So you're not sitting there with the regret and then the end of your life, wherever that is, and say, I wish I would have done this. And don't do that. And there's no better time than right now. If you're listening to this, if you're hearing this,
get up off your butt.
Go
do it.
The one thing that you've been wanting to do, damn it.
I don't care what it is.
Do it. You got my permission. You got my permission. I know you got Ramin's permission. And I know you got a lot of men out here in the world that are rooting you on, man. Go do it. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate.
What's the worst that happens? You end up having a positive experience?
Oh, Jesus. God forbid.
God forbid that happens.
Or you might have a smile on your face and someone else might be pissed off at you because you did it.
Okay.
And they didn't.
And they didn't.
And and there's a fun part in that when that person looks and you can tell. Then there's that envy that they have because you did it and they didn't.
And they didn't. Right.
And then when you see that and say, you know what? That's when I turn down, I look at them and say, still not stopping you from doing it. You got time, and guess what? I did it. If you want some help, come on, let's go have some coffee, and I'll tell you how I started, how I did it. And
I think that's the thing is when you define yourself by what experiences you choose, not hope to have, choose to have, right? That's an active thing. By what experiences you choose to have, then you are actively defining what stories you will have to tell and what experiences you will have to share with others and help them on their journey.
Right on, brother. I think it's a good place to wrap. I
think so.
This was a good talk. I'm glad we got this subject, and as you can tell, we like to talk. We like to ramble. Hopefully, there's some education, some knowledge, and you're getting something out of it. And as Ramin always says, if you are, please comment, please chime in, give us a listen and pass it along.
I actually go through and read the comments. So, and I will respond to them. So please comment. Let us know what you think.
Right on. Well, don't procrastinate tonight.
As Tommy says, we like to talk. I'm talking and I can't shut up.
No, it is. Don't procrastinate tonight. Don't procrastinate.
Get your stuff done.
Get up tomorrow and go do something.
Go do something amazing.
That you've been
thinking
about, wondering about.
Share it with everybody in the comments. Let us know what you went and did. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be huge.
Yeah.
Just anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Go do it.
Let us know. We'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear successes and win. All right, brother. Go win. Go win tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. See ya, brother. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Later.